people, and welcome to our live broadcast. It is another week, another destiny, another astrological portal opening for us, especially with Uranus and Gemini and this Cazimi happening in the heart of the sun during Gemini season. There are some conversations percolating in the air. There is a tinge of excitement, of busy bee-ness in the moment. And I think there is a lot of this Uranus and Gemini energy, which is really coming to the surface for like the first in our face time. Like, remembering here that the last time Uranus was in Gemini, we're talking about 84 years ago during World War II, which brought us the first computer, brought us the first like mainstream radio and televisions coming into our living rooms as well. Technology, how we connect, how we make sense, how we perceive this world, all of that was really going under massive innovation. And that word right there, innovation, is what this archetype is all about, is what Uranus is all about. Uranus is the planet of revolution. It is the planet of evolution. It's the planet of genius. It's the planet of thinking outside of the box. It's no wonder why Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. This idea of thinking outside the box, outside of social conformity, outside of the rules that we agree to, whether consciously or unconsciously. And because of all that energy percolating in Gemini, the archetype of the beginner's mind, it seems as though the collective is coming again to the very beginning of something we already knew deep down inside of us. The interesting thing about Uranus and Gemini is that we're looking at how we make sense of reality, who we make sense of reality with, and how fine line, how finicky that gap is between sanity and insanity. It's very finicky. It's very fine. To be sane in this world, which is doing some very insane things, means to ask questions, to ask the right questions of us, of each other, of ourselves, to be able to challenge and question our beliefs right here, right now, is the evolutionary aim of this Uranus and Gemini transit. We're not asking enough questions, friends. We are not asking enough questions. And I think curiosity in many ways is the compass right now. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and look at the chart for this Uranus and Gemini Cazimi kablam. Cazimi is just a fancy word for conjunction with the sun, in the heart of the sun. The sun being the embodiment of our identity, the center of our universe. It is the source of sanity. If we are in that center of the universe, at least the world feels a little more grounded, feels a little more us, right? And whenever a planet or a transit conjuncts the sun, enters the heart of that sun, the selfhood through the lens of that archetype and that planet gets amplified. So it is essentially the planet and that transit on steroids in relationship to ourself. In Gemini, baby air sign, first air sign of the zodiac. It is the perpetual inner child who sits in the back seat and goes, but why? And not because they're trying to prove anyone wrong, but rather, it's fun to challenge perception. It's fun to challenge and to question the very rules and conditions that make and create reality, whatever reality is. So with Uranus here on the sun in Gemini during Gemini season, we're seeing a conversation play out here where we're really good Squaring this transit, we have the South Node in Virgo, the collective sort of karmic destiny of this moment, that conversation, which South Node in Virgo, we're amplifying the shadow of the South Node. The shadow of Virgo is hypercriticism, super judgmental, like nothing is right, fixating on fixing and fixing and fixing, to the point where we lose the fun, we lose the mission. Squaring it again here, we got the North Node in Pisces, the North Star of the collective unconsciousness right now. The North Star of the collective unconscious right now is Piscean. What is the dream? Can we let go? Can we grieve? Yes, I get you, Virgo. We know it's not working, but what do we want to do with this? Can we dare to dream in this moment? As much more of the shit and the rot and the discombobulatedness of this world is being surfaced. Can we dare to dream? Can we dare to let go? Can we dare to surrender, to trust the change that we're on the precipice of? And now both of these nodes, they want basically the same thing. They want to feel like they're doing something. They want to feel like they're doing something in this life. They want to feel like they're doing anything. Where Virgo wants to practically help in improving, Pisces is the help of the heart. Okay, great. Do you feel good? How can I hold space for you? It's compassion. It's the heart. And Virgo, it's the practical skills needed to even make matters of the heart possible. And in the middle of all of that, we got the Sun in Gemini. We got Uranus in Gemini. So the conversation here of, okay, cool. Pisces, I hear you. Virgo, I hear you. We're not getting anywhere, so what questions are we not asking? How can we get curious about this moment that we're in? Instead of dogmatically reaching for like all the bad stuff and fixating on what's not working, or even in the Piscean lens, like being too delusional about the reality we're living in as well. We need both. We need the practicality and we need the delulu. The delulu is a salulu, but the delulu's not checked. Then how will we ever get anything done? So the Uranus question here and the Sun in Gemini question here is, how do we open ourselves to the realm of possibility? What does that really look like? How can we open ourselves to what is possible? And the truth is, there's a lot more solutions available to us in this right now moment than anything. Think of the technology we have access to, and yet we feel chained by it. Think of all of the beautiful, beautiful gifts we have access to help us create solutions in this right now moment. And yet we're waiting for others to save us. Your curiosity is the compass, loves. It is you. It is you, it is you, it is you, and it has always been you. So what is it going to take? What questions have we not been asking? I pose this to the entire circle here. What questions have we not been asking? Where is our curiosity leading us? Let's open up the conversation space here and contemplate here. Where are we being pulled toward? Where is our curiosity leading us? And nothing is far-fetched here, you know? Nothing is impossible with Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini carries a juvenile genius, a young-hearted genius that hasn't been tainted by life or experience or other people saying no or any of that. I want you to connect with your inner disruptor. If you were to be that kid who raised their hand to ask that question, if you were to actually listen to your teacher's call in the sense of like, there are no dumb questions, what question would you really ask yourself? And what questions would you ask others? And instead of responding or waiting to respond in a knowing in relationship with others. That's like, oh, well, I already know the answer to this. I'm going to ask the question anyways. It's like, no, we're asking questions, period. Even with all our biases, even with all the shit that's in there that has us so rooted and regimented into what we think reality is and should look like, if we were to just lay that down for a little bit here, lay all that armor down, lay down all those beliefs and start from the ground zero. That is true beginner's mind. What would that really look like? A lot of us are walking around, myself included from time to time, especially after all that Pisces energy, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, just like thinking we know what's wrong with this world now. Thinking we know what's wrong with ourselves. Oh, this is the problem with humanity. It's capitalism, it's this, it's that, it's patriarchy. We need matriarchy. Offering all this babble, which Uranus and Gemini is looking at, all this babble, and going, how much of that really does come from us? And I'm not saying we ignore systemic issues. I'm not saying we ignore oppression here. But instead of hopping on some TED Talk bandwagon or whatever of why the other is the problem, extending that hand outward and asking the questions to whatever that other is. And letting curiosity be the thing that steers the ship. Because the truest thing is that we don't know shit. We don't know absolute shit. We may think we know. If anything, the body might know a lot more than the mind thinks it does. But there's a lot that we do not know. There's a lot that we haven't asked yet. And that is what this Cazimi moment is all about. So if you're a Gemini sun, moon, rising, you might particularly feel this. For any mutable signs as well, you may absolutely feel this. I'm talking about Virgo. I'm talking about Sagittarius. I'm talking about Pisces. This sort of Cazimi is a download of like, oh, wow, an aha moment. Gemini is also the writer of the zodiac. I highly recommend you get your journals out. You have a conversation with yourself and then have a conversation with someone else as well. Get those ideas churning. Get it out of you and watch what happens. I think it's really cute here. Look, 11, 11. 11 degrees, Mercury, Gemini, 1 degree Sun, Gemini, 1 degree Uranus, Gemini. 11, 11, baby. We're exactly where we need to be. In the questioning phase. In the questioning phase. We're collecting information right now. We're collecting data. That's awesome. It's never too late to learn something new. That is that pulse of Gemini. I'm going, well, clearly something's not working. I'm doing things the way that worked once upon a time. I'm moving through this life in a way that worked once upon a time, but it's still not working. I don't feel in alignment, which means we got to go back to school. Nobody knows how to go back to school better than a Gemini. Great. I got my backpack. I got my notebooks. I got my textbooks. I got my voice. I got my questions. I got my colleagues. All I got to do is connect the dots. And that's what this Uranus Cazimi is all about. Connecting those dots in conversation. In conversation. All right? So, with that being said, my friends, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you've arrived. We're going to do some personalized readings now. We're all booked up for today, but if you'd like to book a reading for the future, I highly recommend you do so. The slots go really fast. If you book a reading for live here, this is called the chart room because the chart room is now open. You get a 10 to 15 minute little mini reading on you and your chart and your question, whatever question you give me, whatever you're wanting to explore. I also do one-on-one readings for an hour long where we break down your soul path, your karmic mission, how you can best meet the uncertainties of this right now moment with your chart, with your astrology at its highest octave. No bullshit, no pop culture astrology, none of that noise. If you want to know your purpose, you want to know the keys, you want to know all that stuff, go to the link in my description if you're watching on YouTube. Go to the link in my bio if you're watching on Instagram. And for my friends who are watching on Instagram, if you just want me to send all this information to you, comment chart and I'll DM you the links for both of those offerings. That's all you got to do. All right. But in the meantime, let's get some personalized readings going. On my list today, we have Wendy, we have Corey, we have Danielle, we have Cassandra. All right. Those are our peoples. Wendy, Corey, Danielle, Cassandra. Starting with Wendy. Now, if y'all are here, please let me know in the chat. Hey, I'm here. I'm present. I hear you. Either way, if you're not here and you end up missing the reading, you get the replay of this. It's posted on my YouTube channel. So there is that as well. And let me go ahead and put in your information here, Wendy. And for friends who are still just curious and wanting to hang out, good. Please hang out, because you never know what chart I'm going to pull up. And it might just contain keys that echo in your chart as well. So hang out. Also, I think astrology works best when we're trying to understand each other. So there might be someone in this room who I'm doing a reading for, whom you share a particular connection with in the real world, who has similar astrology as that. I think astrology works best as this like tool for bridging empathy and compassion and understanding in each other, and how we all move through this world in very different ways. Okay. Alrighty. So Wendy, just reading your notes here real quick. Great. All right, love. Wendy. This message is for you, dear. So, something in your notes that you already shared was this looking at grief for all the loved ones you've lost and the many versions of you that have evolved through the years, right? And there's something very interesting about your chart in the sense of we're in this life learning peace. We're here to learn peace. Peace in paradox. Peace in the things that on the outside might look like they're at odds with themselves, but what is the middle of them both? Understanding that you need the darkness for light to exist, and you need light for darkness to exist. And so much of what I'm already reading in your chart is through, first and foremost, this sun in Taurus, babe. Your sun sign is your source of sanity. It is your life force. When all comes push to shove, and we are feeling like cuckoo bananas in this world, you do your sun sign work. Your sun sign is what helps you anchor. It's that center of your universe. And for you as a Taurus, comfort, simplicity, the wisdom of simplicity, the wisdom of, I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to really enjoy this time, this space, this company as well. because it's also Sun in Taurus in the 8th house. The 8th house of what happens after the honeymoon. Now you're left with the real shit. 7th house is the 7th house of marriage. 8th house is the house of now we're naked. What does that look like? Do I still feel deeply connected and comfortable with you? I think the Sun in Taurus here in the 8th house really needs deep bodily connection with other people to restore a sense of calm and balance with themselves. That's why the 8th house is also associated with sex. The house of sex. It's very scorpionic as well. But, I look at this in the 8th house, being naked and vulnerable, getting massages, winding all that complexity down into simple, earthly goodness. I think so much of the grief that is carried in this moment has to also do with this 12th house where your North Node lives, North Node in Libra, where we see this conversation of peace and balance come to the surface. On the opposite side of that, we have South Node in Aries. Now, your North and your South Node are probably the most potent keys in your entire chart. They are the keys of karma. South Node being the comfort zone, North Node being the stretch, that North Star we're meant to grow into. And with South Node and Aries in the 6th house of service, control. Somebody is struggling. We immediately take control of the situation. I got this. No, I got this. Me. I have to take charge. I have to be the one to care. I have to be the one to provide love and empathy and compassion. I have to be the one to fix this situation because I'm the one. I have to be the one. And it's a beautiful quality you have to immediately turn it all on and to help other people. But coincidentally, part of the evolutionary path here is also learning to balance all that beautiful care you give out so beautifully for others, probably as a means of just maybe controlling the narrative of how you're seen, as well as being seen as the helpful one, the resourceful one, which is beautiful, the validation we get from that. But when all the lights go off and we're left to ourselves, there is a resistance here when it comes to solitude. North Node, Libra, which is interesting because Libra is a relational planet. A relational sign. Libra is all about being that mirror to the other person. That's why Libra is associated with relationship, the scales, holding this and that, yin and yang. And then the process of weighing out two things that probably want two, on the outside, probably want two different things. How do we get it into the middle where non-duality is possible? To be the eye of the storm. So the evolutionary path of the North Node in Libra is to find unshakable, unmovable peace. The only peace that comes from looking at all the needs and being able to then, in a very diplomatic way, invite others to help in making the tension less of a tension. So this relational sign, though, is all in that 12th house. 12th house of spirituality, 12th house of the occult, 12th house of what exists beyond the realm of physical time-space reality. It's the 12th house of ancestors. It's the 12th house of what happens right before we die. And here we have North Node in Libra saying and exploring or providing the question of, well, what about the relationship to yourself? Are you really rooted and grounded in a relationship with yourself as well? Now, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing to open ourselves to others, right? It's a beautiful thing. I talk about it all the time with Libra rising as well. Gosh, people pleasing. Yes, we want to be liked. We want to be seen as our best. And I think we've associated being seen as our best in crisis mode and the validation we've gotten from that as like, okay, cool. Well, since I got it all together in controlling and helping other people in this way, I don't think I could ask for help. It's hard for me to ask for help. Like, I don't want to be an inconvenience. I gotta have it all together. I put it out there in the world. I'm so good at fixing other people's problems, but man, oh man, when it comes to helping your own, it's tricky terrain. And I talk about Libra as being the people pleaser of the zodiac, but people pleasing is not a bad thing. You know, it's not a bad thing to compromise parts of yourself and to let other people embrace you in that. It's not a bad thing. You know, interestingly enough, this conversation of Libra, this axis of Libra and Aries was a topic and an exploration of something my partner and I were deeply in conversation with, and I was like deeply in the tension with it as well. And he posed this idea of, you know, we love saying there is something about the loop of saying I've lost myself, right? Which is a very like Libra track. Like, I lost myself. I lost myself in the other person. I lost myself. It's like, now after that conversation, like, I'm starting to consider that it's maybe not that we've lost ourselves. It's just that we've given ourselves in beautiful ways, and that's a beautiful quality to have. And regardless of anything, whatever we think we lost is not lost. We gave ourselves willingly to others. It's a part of ourselves. We all have the capacity to do that. Nothing about that is lost. Nothing about that is somebody else who took something from you. It's something that you willingly gave to another person, which leads us to the next step of Libra North Node, accountability. Okay, accountability. That's tough sometimes to say, actually, I played a more important role in the relation. I played an equal part, I want to say, not a more important. That would be more South Node in Aries. I played an equal part in this relationship as well, and what was perpetuated in that. Last thing I'll say about North Node in Libra here in the 12th house of spirituality is also that Libra is a conversational planet. Sign. Libra is a conversational sign. It needs other people to talk to, but in the 12th house, the other people we're talking to is not physical. They're not physical. They're spirits. It's ancestors. It's opening up the lines of communication. It's turning off all the lights and talking with them, because they're waiting for you to talk to them. They got messages for you. They got guidance for you. There's a relationship there in solitude worth exploring. And God, source, creator, universe, spirit guides of the highest good, whatever that is, they're all like, hey, you're doing the most probably. Instead of doing the most, let's do intentionally. Let's do integrously. And the balance that will restore. The balance that we're looking for is one that's found in deep spiritual connection with the realm beyond the physical. There's a spiritual gift there waiting to be unlocked and tapped into. Because this theme of your heart and giving and overgiving, maybe, if that's even a thing, is in your whole chart. I mean, look at your crown. Cancer, come on. Mama. We're Mama Bear. We give, we pour. And it's beautiful. I think so much of your heart really loves feeling like you're doing something valuable and useful and being seen and witnessed in that. But when it comes to be poured into you, to open yourself and your heart to that same amount of care and love that you extend so freely to others. Oh no, I don't need that. I'm okay. No, I'm fine. I think there's part of you that feels undeserving of that same level of care and love. that you so beautifully extend to others. And whatever this sphere is of the spiritual realm, of what exists beyond this physical reality, is exactly where the medicine is. That's why you have a North Node in Libra in the 12th house of spirituality. What happens? It's that moment when we let go and we start again in Aries. The beginning, 1. It's the feeling of letting go and finding peace. Finding peace in endings. Finding peace in grief. It doesn't mean we lose the sentimentality of thinking of a loved one who we cherish so much, and the eyes get misty and the heart feels the feels, but what a gift. I'm so lucky to have loved this person. I'm so lucky to have interacted with them. And guess what? They're still here. They haven't left you. They're in that 12th house waiting to talk to you. They haven't left. Just because we expire in the physical realm does not mean we expire energetically. There's a huge energetic realm just waiting for you to tap into it. Trust and believe it. All right, love? All right. That's what I have for you. Of course, there's so much more. There's only so much I can cover in a 15-minute reading. Book a one-on-one session if you'd like to dive in even deeper. We can talk more about the transits coming online. And this applies to anybody, you know? I'm all booked up for today's little mini readings, but you can book a reading for the future. If you're watching on Instagram, you can comment chart, and I'll DM you all of my reading links and the sort of readings I provide and facilitate. If you're watching on YouTube, or in the replay, you can check out the description, and all my links are in there as well. So thank you. Onward and upward to the next one. Thank you, Wendy. Sending you so much love. Next one on the list, we got Corey. Corey, wherever you are in the world, friend, just let me know in the chat that you are here. All right, let me just read your notes. Okay. Yeah. Great. All right, Corey, let's talk about your chart, friend. So I think one of the most poignant things that I see in your chart is whatever this belief is that you're misunderstood, whatever this belief is that you don't belong, we gotta challenge that belief. These agreements that we make with ourselves, to quote the 4 agreements, whatever these agreements are, we've inherited them and they're not entirely our own. In the 9th house of philosophy, belief, higher learning, understanding, and religion, we have a South Node in Sagittarius. And the South Node in Sagittarius gets a couple of things I've seen, at least in readings with people. One of 2 things happen. Either we've been religiously indoctrinated in some way that the way we were religiously indoctrinated instilled a sense of shame and fear and guilt of you're going to hell, you know? Or there was a complete lack of spirituality in our upbringing, to which either or of the situations, eventually there was a moment in our life where we're in full-on existential crisis. What do we believe in? It's this idea of we're kind of over personalizing and overlooking for signs and clues in the universe. If we were to, explore some form of spirituality, we'd kind of crutch on it for way too hard, because to be in the question, to be in conversation would be super challenging. So with South Node in Sagittarius, we're also here looking at the zealot. We're looking at the preacher. We're also looking at spiritual psychosis, in the sense of like, well, everything is talking to me, and what is me, and the sort of feeling of isolation that comes from that. I think in many ways we're taking belief too seriously. God. What is God? And South Node in Sagittarius would take that question like, what is God? And like, I need to know God. I need to know the God. I need to know the answer. I need to know the secret of life. And once I know the secret of life, I will trust and surrender the universe. I will trust and surrender life. I just need to know the one thing. Give me the one answer. Give me the one clue. Give me the one thing. And so much of life has been this sort of bopping around. And interestingly enough, in an almost conjunction, we have Uranus and Sagittarius. Uranus being that planet that shocks, that twists and turns. So like our beliefs on numerous occasions potentially has like, once we finally root in something to believe in, the universe goes, haha, nope. How about this? How about that? And the evolutionary path of this South Node in Sagittarius is to North Node in Gemini, ask questions. Because the simple truth of all this stuff, even of astrology and everything, like, it's fun to talk about. I love the resonance that it gives people. But deep down inside, if I were to really peel back all this noise, I would say there's so much we do not know. We don't know shit. And knowing, true knowing, like whatever that thing is that goes, well, I know, is so fragile. It's so finicky. It's just one instance away from being completely turned upside down. So what the universe here wants of you with that North Node in Gemini is to be malleable. It's why. It's not why I need to know. It's why. In fact, if anything, it's why not? Why not? So a lot of that ninth house indoctrination, church energy, like, you're gonna go to hell how dare you question God? The one true thing is God. You will burn in hell if you are to question God's authority. And North Node Gemini walks into the church and goes, huh, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. This is so interesting. And then it's to sit across the table from that belief system, with that philosophy, and to go, tell me more. And not because you're trying to get them, not because you're trying to, no, because you're genuinely interested in just how all of this belief, all these belief Bibles, ultimately all arrive to, if anything, the same conclusion, which is so simple, which is God is love. That is the simple truth of it all. We got to take whatever this complex quest for meaning and truth and belief, we got to make it so simple. God is love. But no, God is love for these people and only these people. Interesting. Tell me more. I want to learn more. And you're going to find that during this period, as you know, the collective conversation is clearly shifting to a holy war of sorts. We got the Christian nationalists like praying in crazy groups on the great lawn over there, just like, yeah, Jesus saves. This dude is our Lord and Savior. And then we got the other side, the progressives, whatever that progressive side is, who is just like, no, nothing exists, nothing is real, or whatever. Atheism may live there. And we're so caught up in looking at left and right, blue and red, that we're not seeing that this is a top to bottom issue. Or a bottom to top issue. And it's like, the only way we can get folks to see the true battle, the belief battle that we are on the precipice of, is by asking questions. There's a reason why Daddy said you asked too many questions, because your questions triggered something in the fragility of their beliefs. And it is the mission of this right now moment, especially with Uranus and Gemini, baby. Ooh! Like, Uranus is gonna soon be hitting this North Node. Right now, it's hitting that Chiron wound, which says, I don't really belong. I don't know if I can trust my questions. So our selfhood kind of lives in this sort of like, I don't know, tell me who to be. What do you want me to be? What do you want me to be? And if I can be that, I can turn myself into that, so long if it means you don't leave me or abandon me. Third house. House of belonging. House of siblings. House of neighbors. It's the house of the local peoples and the conversations that come through that give us a sense of belonging. Of like, oh gosh, these are my people. I think it's about damn time you start figuring out who these people are for you. Gather some folks, have a conversation, talk about it, and notice within you, whenever you start talking and conversating, the sort of defensiveness that comes on. That's that South Node in Sagittarius that wants to quickly defend. Even if we're defending, whatever sort of beliefs that could help us all in this chapter of life. Notice the defensiveness. Notice how quickly the ego runs to defend belief as truth, as final. All right? Now, you wanting friends, true friends, that's all in the making. But guess what? To create true friends, to have true friends in this world means to risk potential rejection. Which means you got to say the thing. Unfiltered. Communicate it unfiltered, and yet still have the humility in conversation and space whenever it's challenged. Whenever it's challenged. That Pisces rising in you really just wants love. The Pisces rising in you really just wants love, really wants us all to get along, really all wants us to like, could we make it simple through that sun in Taurus? Like, come on. But in order for us to eventually get to the simple truths of life, we gotta ask questions. We gotta connect and dare ourselves to connect. You are not as misunderstood as you think you are. Okay? You are not as misunderstood as you think you are. If there's something missing or lacking, sit with that South Node in Sagittarius who's probably whispering beliefs to you that aren't real, that are so fragile, that need to be challenged right now. Okay? So keep it up. Keep doing the work. Keep doing the things. Keep risking potential rejection. Keep saying the things, connecting with the things. Like, so much of your chart has that pulse of like rooted and grounded empathy. You are not a threat. And if somebody else perceives you as a threat, that has to do with their beliefs and their things. Whatever they got inside of them, that's about them. You're not here to be alone. You're here to connect. All right, love? All right. That's what I got for you. Thank you very much, love. That was a beautiful reading. I appreciate y'all so much. And if you're just joining the space, hi, hello, how are you? We're doing personalized readings right now. I do 15-minute mini readings where you can ask a question or ask something that you want to know in your chart, and I'll respond by pulling up your chart, talking a little bit about it in 15 minutes. But of course, there's only so much I can cover in 15 minutes. I do one-on-one readings as well, where we'd sit down for a whole ass hour and walk through your entire chart with you. All of that is linked in the description on YouTube. It's also, if you are watching on Instagram, all you got to do is comment chart, and I will go ahead and send you all the links if you're watching on Instagram right now. So that was Corey. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. Next up on the list, we got Danielle. Danielle, wherever you are. I'm going to pull up your chart right now real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, thank you, love. I appreciate you. All right, so this message is for Danielle, wherever you are, either on Instagram or on YouTube, or if you're watching the replay afterwards. Here's what I see. This chart, already right off the jump, is very unique in the sense that energy is quite concentrated in certain aspects of your chart. There's a lot of opposition here between Aries and Libra, between me and we, okay? Now, I would say in this current chapter of your life, North Node in Aries, what do you want? What do you want? Not what do we want? What do you want? When you sit down with yourself, you close your eyes and you breathe in the self, whatever that self is. What comes online? Who are you with? Where are you at? You've gotten enough information from other people. Now is the opportunity, your opportunity, to go out and do it and to trust it and to do the brave thing of just taking the next step. We weigh things out probably a little too much. Indecision is there. And right now, all of the Aries energy coming online is motivating you and asking you to have a little bit of courage, have a little bit of faith, to consciously risk something new. Interestingly enough, you have the youngest sign of the zodiac as the North Node in Aries. Aries, first sign of the zodiac. They're such a baby. And here you also have the sun in Pisces, which is such an elder. In your notes, you put the youth. And I'm like, you are the youth. It's you. You're not too old. You are still young in so many ways. And there's part of that youthfulness that I think could be just a beautiful beacon of hope for the younger babies. I encourage you in this chapter to really demonstrate courage, bravery, tenacity, a willingness to do new things. It is the adage of you can't teach an old dog new tricks, which is such a South Node Libra energy. North Node Aries says, fuck that noise. I'm going to do it anyway. I want to start something new. Great. Start it. Do it. Do what you want. be consciously selfish. And don't get me wrong, South Node Libra, it's beautiful. In the house, 7th house of relationship, it's beautiful. Your relationships are beautiful. The amount you give to those relationships, it's so beautiful. And what do you want as well? What do you desire? Who do you want to be in this chapter? My partner talks about this moment in his life as he's maturing, all of that. He's an Aries sun, asking the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? In his 40s. What do I want to be when I grow up? It's never too late to ask that question. And you're never too old to ask that question. And that's that North Node in Aries. Me. And trust and believe all of that me is so influenced by the rest of your chart. It's influenced by that Piscean compassion. It's influenced by that Libra air of wanting to restore balance and peace and just order. But in order to create the sort of peace and order that we need right now, we got to ruffle some feathers. This is your second Saturn return, babe. Your second Saturn return. And whenever people go through their second Saturn return, we're talking about moving from, the student during their first Saturn return who's just learning about Saturn and getting better and maturity and just like, holy shit, what is life? What do I want to do? Who am I? To the second time Saturn comes around, it's like we're becoming an elder now. With Aries, though, the elder who's still so young, the elder at the very beginning, there is a youthfulness to your elderhood that is worth exploring. Understanding that you're never too old to risk something. You're never too old to bungee jump or skydive or whatever it is. Like, let's really test the limits of our courage here in this chapter. Go someplace you've never gone before. Fuck it. So much in you has this beautiful capacity to attract the collaborations, the people, the love, the all of it. Like, great. Trust that. Trust that pulse. Aries is attributed to being that god of war, right? Aries is attributed to being that god of war and the god of confrontation. And I think we confuse it as just causing conflict for no reason. We confuse it for, I just want to burn every bridge. But I think here in the first house, in the sense of self, it's like, no, I want to build a bridge back to myself. I want to build a bridge back to myself. So, what are we bridging here? What do we want to start anew? What do we want to start from the very beginning? That is what this archetype is all about. We are starting at the very beginning. A comment coming in here from my partner DJ. Amazingly, how fearlessly unlimited a 5-year-old can answer that question, and how limiting an adult, quote unquote adult, answers that same question. There's a fearlessness there. And interesting here, because we got the sun in Pisces, right, in your chart. Sun in Pisces in the 12th house. House of endings. It's the most Pisces house. And sun, source of sanity, in Pisces in the sign of dissolution. In the house of, fuck it, we're all gonna die one day. So why limit myself? Like, am I choosing death now? Am I really ending my life here? Because Stephen Forrest, he talks about like meeting lots of people who are 20-something years old and dead, just good as dead. Because they've just decided this is what my life is, this is all I'm going to do, and this is the routine I'm going to follow, because to go outside of it, ooh, scary thing, right? Scary thing to fail. Can't fail. I succeeded at this. I must commit to this and just stick to this. So understanding no matter what age you are, there are people who are age-wise younger than you who might be already dead. Dead. Because they let fear be the thing that steers your ship. But we're not doing that in this lifetime. We've done it. South Node Libra, we've done it. We lived our lives for others, through others. And again, it's a beautiful thing to have, beautiful quality to have. You know, if you had a North Node in Libra, I'm like, well, maybe it's worth exploring relationship. We're exploring something outside of just you. It's not only about you if you had North Node Libra. But we're looking at South Node Libra. So there's an affinity here of putting your life on hold because of another person. Because we're afraid of disappointing that person. We're afraid of letting them down. We're afraid of, fuck, what does this mean then if I were to just be myself? What would it mean then to just like do something new to this relationship? And let me tell you, it's important to still care for those relationships and to tend to them and to bring yourself to them. But maybe sometimes it comes to a point where it's like, great, I'll be back. I just got to go see what's over here. I want to see what's over here. I want to test myself. I want to feel alive. And anytime you'll find with that South Node in Libra, when all that aliveness, when all of that energy becomes a scapegoat from just like also doing what you want in this life, also bravely showing yourself. Now, mind you, you could potentially be in a relationship right now, still stay in that relationship, still stay in these relationships, these connections and whatnot, and go, cool, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to skydive. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this thing anyway. I'm going to still be brave. Instead of waiting for these relationships to inspire bravery in you, you have to ignite that sense of bravery and action for yourself. There's only so much relationships can give you. They can't give you everything. They can't. It'd be nice if they could, but they can't and they won't. You got to also ignite yourself. You got to also turn on the engines of selfhood. And it's a beautiful thing. So in this chapter, we are testing the limits of self. We're starting something new. We're starting something exciting. We're seeing ourselves in new ways. And we're just going in that direction. Whoever it is you're looking for counsel and like, what should I do? If you're looking to other people to tell you what to do, sure. If it's someone you trust, absorb that. Take it in. And also take yourself in too. Fail. Fail big. Try things on. And show yourself and others, especially the youth, that it's never too old to try something new. You're never too old to learn a new trick. All right, love? All right. Well, that's what I have for you, dear. I didn't see you in the chat, in the comments, so I'm assuming you're watching the replay. I hope the replay resonated with you. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate your contributions. If you're just joining us, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm doing mini chart readings right now. We're completely booked up for today, but we're booking up this week and next week really quickly. If you're watching on Instagram, comment chat, and I will go ahead and send you all the links to book any reading with me. If you're watching on YouTube, all my links are in the description. You can check them out in there to book something for the future. We got one more personalized readings on the books, and it's for Cassandra. Cassandra. Wherever you are in the world, love. I know we had some technical difficulties last time, but in the meantime, I'm going to put your chart here. And even in the event, you can, while we wait for that, just let me know in the chat that you're here. All right. So let me just read your notes here real quick, Cassandra. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh my God, I love this. So many North Node in Libra, South Node Aries conversations, and vice versa. So weird how you guys are all like booking readings. This conversation of the nodes here is interesting. So, for you, Cassandra, let me go ahead and show you the chart here, show you what I see. So what we're looking at here, love, is a couple of things. I love that we're in school, or we came out of school, we got that degree, right? And there's also something else that I'm seeing up here in your midheaven, the crown of your chart. Now this crown, in between the 9th house and the 10th house, this crown is your legacy. It's what you're seen and remembered for. It's how you'd like to remember yourself as well, right? And it's interesting that this crown, the midheaven, happens right between the 9th house and the 10th house, because the 9th house is where we go to school. It's where we learn. And then we get that diploma, which is this midheaven, and boop, we're out into the world and we build a legacy from everything we've learned. We build something, we create something, whatever that is. And interestingly enough, you have Gemini up here in your midheaven, which is the perpetual student of the zodiac. You came into this world to learn, and to learn lots, to really have curiosity be your compass. I would say here with the crown in Gemini, boredom is your kryptonite, baby. Boredom is your kryptonite. You cannot do it. You cannot do boredom. You cannot experience it. It's like you need stimulation. You need conversation. You need to talk to people about the curious things you're learning. A little red flag I saw in your chart, in your comments, of like, I'm good by myself. I would like a partner, but I'm good on my own. I'm good on my own. I'm good on my own. And that's the South Node in Aries. This goes, I'm fine. I don't need anybody. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. I can conquer my own demons. I can conquer my own shadows. I can conquer all those things. I don't need any of that. Throw in a sun in Scorpio. Ooh. Part of that comes from being able to trust other people, being able to trust them with your gifts, with your knowledge, with yourself. And since you know your capacity to potentially give so much of yourself to other people, we don't give any of it at all. Enter your North Node in Libra, which is about relationships. It's about connection. It's about balance. It's about peace. Sure. It's about harmony. Sure. But ultimately, it's about surrendering oneself to the other, whatever that is. And in the mirroring, in the reflection, can we let that connection inform something even deeper about ourselves? The thing is, with this crown up here in Gemini, with Gemini also sharing some space here in your 10th house, you really need other people to make your dreams a reality. Also with the North Node Libra, like you really need other people to make your dreams a reality. You're meant to work with a lot of others. I think with your degree, it's great. You got it. You earned it. You did it on your own. Now it's a matter of cool. Who's the network? Who are the peoples? How can we make whatever this thing is a reality? Because you got degrees, you got knowledge, you got wisdom, but what it's missing is connection, which is why I love Uranus and Gemini right now. For you specifically. Look at this Gemini pile up right here on your 9th house. There is an aha moment in the makings. There is an aha moment of like, whoa, I didn't see the solution as being that, but I'm so grateful that I do now. Gemini here wants you to challenge how you think building a career or business or anything like that looks like. Virgo, of course, Virgo rising needs that game plan, needs to know the step by step, but also don't forget to question. Don't forget your curiosity. Don't forget that whatever it is we're making, whatever career we end up landing on, is something that we haven't done before. All right? Uranus and Gemini is the stamp of innovation, and we got 7 years of Uranus and Gemini hovering on this midheaven. Really stretching your beliefs, really stretching your philosophies, really stretching all of that in hopes of eventually when Uranus moves and crosses over into your 10th house, boom, I know what I'm doing now. And I have my network, I have my people, I have those connections. Let's go. Party. So again here, what questions are we not asking? How are we moving through this? How much of that, I got this on my own, I got this by myself, is a protective mechanism? Because South Node, Aries, past life, in the 8th house of secrets, in the 8th house of shadow, in the 8th house of those soul contracts. It's also the 8th house of betrayal, the betrayal that could come from fully being naked and vulnerable with other people, right? And with South Node and Aries here, ooh, there's a wound. It's hard to trust others. We think others are out to get us. And sure, there have been experiences where that has been the case, where you've seen the shadowy, deceiving, manipulative side of other people. But we're moving to that North Node in Libra, which is unshakable, unmovable peace. Eye of the storm. There's nothing this person could take from me because I have everything I need. It's great having collaborations and connections and all those beautiful things, but it's also my well-being is not contingent on how I'm treated by others. And even amidst all of that, it's better to risk potentially being hurt by other people than to be alone. It's better to risk potential, all those vulnerable feelings that come with opening ourselves up, opening our hearts up to other people. It's better to risk potentially being hurt than to close the heart completely off. So whatever in you that wants to really believe in other people, I dare you to let that fully take over. I dare you to let that Venus in Sagittarius, who's an optimist, like let that optimism in. See the good in humanity. See the good in these connections, and see the good in the help that is being extended to you. You can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about other people, but you can work with them. You gotta trust it. You gotta allow other people in. Because so much of that midheaven with Gemini, gosh, we need a network. We need a network. We need other people. We need other people. We need to connect. We need to have conversations. Because this thing that you have, this thing you want to do, this business that you want to birth, requires contact, requires connection, requires a network. You need people to make it a reality. which means you got to get out of your hobbit hole. You got to give up the perfection. You got to give up the control of how it looks and needs to look and da da da. Hello, Cassandra. And this is your chart, by the way. You can go back if you haven't, you can go back and listen to what's happening before this, because I've been on your chart for almost 10 minutes now. But if you just arrived, hello, welcome. But anyways, you need the connective tissue. And that's this Uranus and Gemini transit of really pushing you out of the box. You got to think outside the box here. I know Virgo rising really loves a box. Give me the box. Give me the framework. Give me the thing. Give me rules to follow. It's like you are making the rules. You are making the rules. It's you. You're making the framework. You're creating it. You're unearthing whatever this career thing is. And with the Gemini midheaven, it hasn't happened before. It hasn't been done before. How can we leverage technology, the network, the people, these connections? How can we leverage it all to help push how we see career, how we see life, how we see reality? How can we use it to push humanity forward? Understanding that also with the natal Uranus in Capricorn, the genius that you've come into this world to explore is the genius of rebuilding a system. Rebuilding a system. 5th house, Uranus and Capricorn, baby. We are truly recreating creativity, rethinking creativity, rethinking that passion, rethinking that expression. It hasn't worked because we're trying to build it in a traditional sense, and nothing in your chart is traditional by any means. So trust that. I think with Uranus hovering in that 9th house, it would be a good time to still keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Open up all the tabs. Give yourself the permission to pivot. Give yourself the permission to go this way or to go that way. Gemini in that midheaven needs that permission to stretch and to just go where the curiosity is leading you. That is the signature of this midheaven. That is the signature of this chapter we're embarking on. Okay? Nothing that you're building is meant to be conventional by any means. Whatever voice inside of you that's telling you it's not enough, it's not this, it's not that, it's not perfect, and so fuck that noise. Trust that your heart is in it. Trust that your truth is in it. And also ask for help. Ask other people to help you build this. You need other people to build this. You're not building this by yourself. I know you want to be the lone wolf, but there's nothing lone wolf in your chart. At least that's going to help you grow. Nothing about lone wolfing is going to help you grow. You need other people in this lifetime. North Node in Libra. You need other people. You need to collaborate. Okay? Okay. That's what I got for you. Yay! We have done it, friends. We did it. We're here. Another day, another destiny. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions. Again, if you just joined us and you want to book a mini reading, comment chart. If you are watching live, I'll send you all the links to book a one-on-one reading, to book a mini reading, whatever that is. If you're on YouTube, you can check out the description below. I do these live shows every Thursday, every Saturday at different times to help with the time zone differences for some y'all. And yeah, happy Uranus and Gemini. Happy Gemini season to all the Geminis in the house. We love you, Gemini. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being the beautiful chaos gremlin that you are. Thank you for showing us the play, the beauty in contradiction. It's really quite beautiful. And let's all embrace questions. Let's all challenge whatever perceptions we have. That is the Uranus and Gemini signatures, to challenge our perceptions. There's so much we don't know, and that can be a liberating conversation. Okay? It can be a very freeing conversation. All right, friends. I love you. I see you. I witness you. I thank you. I'll see you on Saturday, hopefully. Make sure you hit the notification bells and whistles, all the things you need to do so that you're notified every time I'm on a live show. And I'll see you next time. Yes. Do we get a reminder of our appointment slot when we book for future readings? Yes, you will get a reminder. It will be sent to your email. You get a reminder 24 hours in advance, and you get a reminder 15 minutes in advance. So you book it, you get a reminder. Mini readings are $40, $40. My extended 1-hour readings are $199. We chart the whole entire thing, the whole entire shebang. I'll talk to you about your karmic keys. I will talk past life, present life, all that stuff. So it's all linked in the bio though. So, and also linked in the description, completely up to you. No pressure, of course. There's many ways for you to be involved in these conversations and spaces. So I appreciate you. I love you. Bye for now. I'll see you on Saturday, okay? Bye, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.